Hey, what's going on, and welcome back to the channel. So Palantir's fourth quarter earnings report and the wrap up for the entire fiscal year 2021 is coming out on February 17th, right before markets open. And at 8 a.m., Alex Karp, the CEO, is going to be on the live teleconference answering questions. Now, I've seen a few people on Reddit and Twitter suggesting that this is a super bullish indicator and speculating that maybe Karp is coming on the conference call to announce some big deal or something of that nature. And while that would obviously be great, I'm not holding my breath on that point because it's very possible that Karp is just coming on the conference call because during the Q3 earnings report, when the COO Shyam Sankar was doing the conference call, he didn't answer reporters' questions in a very transparent way. He was kind of giving politicians answers, and so actually the stock price was tanking during the conference call. Anyways, the question and answer period with Karp is going to be broadcast live, and as a Palantir shareholder, you actually have an opportunity now to submit questions in advance that could actually be asked of Karp or any of the other people on the call. And so for today's video, I thought it might be interesting to go through a couple of the top questions on the list so far, and I'll actually post a link to this down in the description box so that if you're a Palantir investor, you can go on here and you can also submit your own questions. So let's take a quick look at what some of the top questions are so far, because I've seen a few great ones that I would love to know the answer to, and I've seen a few ridiculous ones. So question number one by Siddhant P. Is the $4 billion revenue by 2025 still on point? I mean, yeah, this is a good question because we all want to know if Palantir's revenue growth projections are actually still on target. The second and third highest upvoted questions on the list, though, are either people that are trolling or that don't really understand the fundamental business that Palantir is in. So question number two by Ankit B is, the stock is massively down from its highs. Is the company doing anything for their shareholders to keep believing in the business? I think if you have to ask questions like that, then maybe you shouldn't be investing in Palantir. And the third question is, are there ongoing discussions or plans to buy back any outstanding shares? Now, in some cases, I could see how that would be a legitimate question, but with a company like Palantir that is focused on growth, we do not want share buybacks. As a shareholder, I would actively oppose any share buybacks because I want Palantir to be putting any and all cash that they have into growing the business at a faster and faster clip. We want to see that exponential growth at some point over the next few years. And if they can't think of anything better to do than to just buy back some shares, then I think that's a really negative signal for the future of the company. And I would think twice about my investment in Palantir if they started buying back shares at this point. Maybe a decade or two down the road, if they have a massive cash position, something like Apple, and they have really nothing else to do with the money, sure. The next couple of questions could be interesting. Michael R. is wondering what the motivation is for hiring 1,000 salespeople in Germany specifically. I haven't seen anything suggesting that Palantir is hiring 1,000 salespeople in Germany alone. They're hiring 1,000 new employees across the board and across the globe. So I think this question might be just mixing up the facts a little bit, although Palantir is expanding into Germany, and that's obviously a bullish signal in my opinion. And the fifth question is, can you talk about the future plan of the consumer side of the business? Now, this I would be very interested to see Karp answer. A lot of people think that Palantir will only reach a truly lofty valuation like $500 billion or $1 trillion if they have a consumer-facing product, because if they're B2B exclusively, then they're limiting their total addressable market. So if they do have future plans to open up a consumer-facing product, then obviously that would be super bullish for the company. I'm not sure if Karp would actually be at liberty to say at this point if they are thinking about that, but I'd be interested to see what his response is to that question. And the next couple of questions on the list are also those trolley kind of questions, but maybe not, because I have a feeling that these people are actually serious. But Rand H is asking, so most of the investors of Palantir has lost a lot of money since IPO. We want to know what the next plan is, when to turn positive, and when the insider selling stops. And Randy H is asking a similar question about the insider selling and Alex Karp's options exercising, and asking, how can you give trust back into those diamond holding through the mess? So yeah, it's currently a mixed bag between serious, legitimate questions and these types of ridiculous questions that I hope they don't actually ask Karp, because that would be a waste of time in my opinion. But if you're a Palantir shareholder, I definitely recommend going onto this website, registering your shares and verifying that you're a Palantir shareholder if you live in the US, and you can do that, and submitting real questions. For instance, I would love to know more about Foundry for crypto, because since they announced it a few months ago, we basically haven't heard a peep. So I'd be very curious to know about what they think the size of that total addressable market is and whether they've actually signed up clients in that sector and what they're doing to grow that side of the business, because it seems like a massive opportunity. Anyways, that's it for today's video. Looking forward to that Q4 earnings report in just under 2 weeks, and hopefully Palantir has another earnings beat like they've had for every single quarter since the company went public. Thanks, and I'll see you in the next one.